Are you ready? That's what you want to hear. You want to hear that sizzle. You want to hear the vegetables hit the hot pan. Oh my God. You smell that? Woo! That Scotch bonnet. Mama. Hi everyone, my name is Chef Andre Fowles, and today we will be making the greatest street food in the world. Guess what it is? Jamaican beef patty. It's a classic Jamaican street food. It's like a Jamaican version of a empanada or a turnover. You have your beef filling and you have your pastry crust. First thing for your filling, you have to get beautiful ingredients. Anyone that knows Jamaican cuisine is really staring at that guy right here, the Scotch bonnet. All right, so let's get into it. Jamaican cuisine is all about bold flavors, really bold flavors. We like it spiced up, not say heat, but it's really deep depth of flavor. So a cool trick to peel your ginger is just use a spoon, peel it off. Doesn't really have to be perfect. You just want to get most of that skin off. Get your onion ready, then your ginger. Green onions, or we call it scallions, a little bit of fresh thyme. And then my favorite, the Scotch bonnet. If you can't find Scotch bonnet, you can do habaneros, which will give you similar heat, but not so much as a flavor, because Scotch bonnet has a very unique, fruity, forward flavor to it. We call it country pepper. That's a bit of Jamaican accent for you. And it, see that? I wish you could smell it. I love my patty, not super spicy where it's burning in your mouth. You want to really taste the beef. People like it really hot, but for me, I like it in the mild region where, you know, you're really enjoying it. Garlic. So we'll get a food processor. Onion goes in, ginger, scallion, thyme, and garlic. You want it slightly chunky because you want this to cook and blend with the beef. So while you're doing that, oh my God. You know, like, no joke, this smells amazing. This is just like, I'm getting very emotional cooking this right now, right? This will bring back memories of my kitchen. So let's season up with some paprika and of course the allspice. So this will definitely add that Jamaican authentic flavor to it. Onion powder and garlic powder. It does give you a unique flavor when you have the fresh and pretty much a dehydrated powdered form. I like it that way, and that's how we do it in Jamaica as well. In Jamaica, a lot of people don't really make patties at home because it takes a lot of time, but my grandmother was such an amazing cook. You know, she always wanted me to make everything from scratch. So even as young as 4 or 5, I'll make like fresh patties. Going to school, we used to purchase a lot of patties for lunch. You know, so it's like the quintessential street food that's just, it's like every day. You can eat it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. This filling, as you can see, it resembles like a jerk kind of a consistency with how dark it looks. This is just like a flavor bomb right here. This can be used for anything at all. So you can minus the beef, you can do tofu, you can do callaloo. That we do a lot of callaloo in Jamaica. You can do whatever seasonal vegetables that's there. You want to get your pan up to like medium-high heat, not too hot because you don't want to burn your vegetables. Hit it with a little bit of oil. So you want to saute your vegetables. That takes like 2 or 3 minutes just to get those flavors going. And then you want to get amazing fresh beef. That is 85% lean versus 15% of fat. You just want to gently bring this up so it cooks with the seasoning, and there's garlic in it. And the worst thing is to have burnt garlic in your patty. Every time when I make my trip back to Jamaica, the first thing I need is a beef patty with cheese. That's my go-to. When it comes to patty, there's a competition. Like, everyone has a favorite patty restaurant. There's like maybe 3 or 4 major patty restaurants in Jamaica. You have Tasty Patty, you have Mother's Juicy Beef, and those are the 3 giants when it comes to the Jamaican patty chain. And for me, Mother's Cheese Patty is my favorite because the crust is so light and flaky. The filling is always hot and gooey, and then the cheese, stop talking about that. I'm getting hungry. Let's make some patties. While that's cooking now, we're gonna just start seasoning up. A bit of salt, some black pepper. So this is called browning, and pretty much is just caramelized sugar. In any West Indian kitchen that you go to, and we typically use this ingredient to give it that caramelized color that you see. Then we're gonna add some breadcrumbs, right? Because right when we add the stock, so the breadcrumbs would act as a sponge to like suck all that moisture up and just emulsify into the beef. So it's not too wet, it's not too dry, it's just like silky, gooey, just like, it's just delicious. One of my secret ingredients is Gelatin. A lot of people say, ooh, gelatin, you know, that's very unheard of, but it's not actually. Because if you think about where we get gelatin from, it's from the calves, it's from the muscles of beef, of cows. So it ties in back to, we're using beef, right? So while your filling is simmering, it's on to step 2. You gotta get your pastry. And don't be afraid of the pastry, all right? So you have your flour, so add some salt, baking powder, and of course, sugar. Filling is nice and spicy. You wanna balance the crust with a little touch of sweetness. Turmeric powder and a touch of curry powder. A lot of people tend to use only turmeric powder, but I like the flavor of the curry powder as well. And this is what we use to give it the natural color. So once you get all your dry ingredients thoroughly mixed in, you're gonna start to make it more exciting by adding all your fats to it. Shorten it so it's nice and cool. And you wanna use the fork to break the fat into the flour. If you use your fingers at this point, your fingers has a lot of heat. You'll melt the fat too quickly. So this is the key. This is called beef suet or beef sweet. If you don't know what it is, don't be afraid of it. It's just pretty much beef fat. This gives you incredible texture, and especially when it's really cold. You see that? All right. This is where you get personal. Gently use your fingertips to break the fat into smaller chunks into the flour. The flour smells amazing because of the curry powder. Color is really important to Jamaican beef patty. It has to have that signature yellow color, and a lot of people tend to use the food coloring, which is fine. It's the same color, but why use a food coloring when you can use spices that has extra flavor? All right, so you have your dry, then we're gonna do the wet. So 1 egg, ice cold water, a little bit of white distilled vinegar. It fights away the gluten from getting all tight. Immediately you see that quick pop of yellow back with the hands. And do not squish on the dough because you don't want to break the fat too much into the flour. And then if you want to do that, zoom in. All that chunks of fat, that's what you want. And we're gonna put it in the fridge for like 30 minutes just to relax. Your dough has been sitting for 30 minutes, and as you can see, it's nice and firm. And then of course our filling is finished simmered, and as you can see, look at that texture, right? Just listen. Just listen to that flavor. And then the taste test. We're not allowed to double dip, or else I would have gotten another mouthful. So let's on to the dough. You want to portion this into smaller balls, roughly around 4 or 5 ounces per patty. You want to fold your dough onto itself, because once you fold the fat in between the layers of the flour, it creates that pocket where the fat is trapped, and once you bake it, it expands and it creates a multiple layer. Patty was born through the Cornish pasty. That's like a traditional English meat pie. When the British came to Jamaica to colonize Jamaica, they brought over a lot of traditions. Patty is just one of those things that we took from the English and we made it our own. That's how we got our Jamaican patty. And then it is now the most famous, beloved street food in Jamaica, if not the Caribbean, or well, I say the world, but I'm kind of biased. Excellent, so we're almost there. So our dough, as you can see, beautiful color, thanks to the turmeric and the curry powder, and you can see the chunks of fat lining through the dough. So that's where you're gonna get your perfect flakes from, and it's nice and thin, not so much that it's gonna break or fall apart. Crimp the edges, and your filling again, amazing. So it's nice and chilled. So you wanna keep it closer towards you, so when you fold it over, it gives you that perfect pocket. Pinch your edges. Boom, boom, boom. Your patty, they're ready to go, so you have to bake them in a preheated oven at 375 for like 20-25 minutes. Our patties are done. Just want to break into that so you can see that beautiful filling. All right, ooh, it's falling out. You can see it's crispy. You can see that flake, that crust. All right, look at that. Still hot. It's still so good. All right, here's the crunch. Wow. In Jamaica, we use the processed cheese that gives you a really creamy, gooey, quintessential cheeseburger feel. That's my favorite patty, beef patty with cheese. Amazing. As you can see, the cheese is all melted. The crust is so flaky, it's actually falling apart in my hands. Yo, this is wicked, man. So guys, if you want to try this amazing recipe, click the link in the description below and follow step-by-step procedures and you'll have amazing Jamaican beef patty. And go, let's go do it.